Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Like, as soon as you get paid, your money is already gone. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Your finances has you on a chokehold. You're feeling like you can't breathe. As soon as you get your money, the only thing you can do is pay bills because you don't have much money left over. You are feeling like you are literally one paycheck away from being homeless. If something happened to your job, you have no savings, you got debt that's mounted up. And at this point, you're like, 2024, I need to work towards not living paycheck to paycheck. And if that is something that you are seeking, you have stumbled upon the right video. Let's go ahead and talk about it. If you are new here, my name is Jasmine, aka Budget Treasures, and here on my channel I talk about all things finance with the emphasis on budgeting, saving money, and paying off debt. If you are a returning bestie, hey girl, hey, let's jump into it. I am going to give you 3 things that you can do where you are going to be working towards not living paycheck to paycheck. Number 1, I know you've heard this before, but I finally need the light bulb to go off. You need to decrease your expenses. I know you heard it before. I know, bestie, I know. But at some point, we have to watch how much money we have going out of the house, and we have to decrease so that we can keep that money in the house. So you're looking at things like subscriptions if you're not using them. And maybe for a season, you're just cutting it off. You're just not even gonna be accessing subscriptions that you have to pay for. Maybe you're looking at Tubi. Tubi is free. Hey, Tubi got some good little movies on there too, right? So you want to decrease in areas. The thing with subscriptions is that they add up. Eating out adds up. Going to go buy that Starbucks coffee every day. Like, some people, they're really at Starbucks every day. And to be honest, it ain't that great to me. I don't go to Starbucks every day. I make my own coffee at home. No, she didn't. But going to Starbucks adds up. If that's $10 a day that you're spending, that's $50 a week, and so on. So think about, if you save that money over the span of a year, you would have saved, do the math. So with the decrease of your expenses, you can take that money and you can put it towards your emergency fund so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck and you're not dependent upon your very next paycheck for you to pay your bills. It's important that you decrease and eliminate debt. Debt robs us of our joy, and it robs us of our money. We have got to become debt-free as best we can. And so by eliminating debt, eliminating your expenses, you're able to take that money that you now have available and you're able to save that money and really save it for towards your emergency fund so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. So decrease your expenses and pay off that debt. Number 2, I know you done heard this one before too. The light bulb needs to go off on this one as well. It is important, it is uber important to increase your income. This is pretty much the place where I am. I did step 1. I really eliminated a lot of my expenses, and I am currently paying off my debt, but I still couldn't make significant gains fast enough. So I said, okay, what is there next to do? Increase your income. When you increase your income, you can do so much more. You can save money faster because you're paying off your debt faster, and you're putting those boatloads of money or lump sum of money or whatever it is that you're doing on the side for your side hustle, and you're putting that towards saving. So then your resources are increased and you're feeling better about yourself. And when we talked earlier and we said that your finances have you on a chokehold, the hands will begin to loosen because you're not going to feel so choked and feel like you are really dependent upon that next paycheck. So when you couple those two together, decreasing your expenses and increasing your income, baby, it's life changing. I'm telling you. I am currently working on this myself. I am paid for my 40-hour-a-week job. I am paid salary. But I said, you know what? I live in California and we already know inflation is just horrible. And to be honest with you, there's really, in my opinion, nowhere. I mean, there's places where you can move, where expenses aren't that high. But I'm not moving to the ghetto. That's just not something that I am willing to do. And so because I'm not willing to make that sacrifice to move into an area that's probably not safe, I have to pay a little bit more, which I'm okay with that. But at some point, I need to increase my income then, so that I'm not neck and neck with my income and my expenses. And so life changing for me is having a side hustle. My side hustle is YouTube. I will be coming out with a YouTube course very soon for those people who are looking to scale on YouTube. You can make money with 100 subscribers on YouTube. Of course, you have AdSense, but there's tons of other things that you can do. So I'm going to be focusing heavily on increasing your income in 2024, because we really have to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Like, it's not fun. It doesn't feel good. It's overwhelming. We're always saying we don't have no money, and that cannot be our constant sentence to people. Okay. So number one, we have to decrease our expenses. Number two, we have to increase our income, which is probably the most important. That's probably should have been number one. But here's the last thing that we have to do. Hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
We have to be better givers. And I'm not only talking about giving money to the church and tithing and offering. I'm talking about beyond that. From the spiritual side, it is important that you tithe. It is important that you give your offering, because we have been commanded to do so by Jesus Christ with our first fruits, which is our money. That's what I believe that my Bible says. I got that from the Bible, not the pastor. So I know there's a lot of controversy around that, but if you just read the Bible, it tells you. So anyway, I freely give back to God, and I trust Him with what He will do with the heart that I give with my increase. But then if that's not you, if you're like, hey, I'm not a Christian, or I am, but I don't believe in that, or whatever it is, the principle of giving, you will receive. You will reap what you sow. Think about it. Even if you give to organizations, if you give to other people, you get even like a tax refund, like a tax, I don't know if it's called tax deductible, whatever, but that's something that you can claim on your taxes so that you can get a tax break. That's why people with a lot of money, they have to give it away, because the government will eat you up. So whether you are spiritual or not, you have to know that giving is important. No matter who you're giving it to, you have to give, because you get more back. So that is a very important concept to start with. You have some people who have a closed hand. Everything they get, there's those people we call selfish. They get their money, they hold on to it. They don't want to let nobody have it. They don't want to help nobody out. They don't want to help the church out, the people out, nobody. They just hold on. When can you ever receive something? You can't, because your hand is always closed. But if you open it, then you will, and as you're giving, you're also receiving. But if you got a closed fist and you just hard at that, it's going to be tough for you to receive. So that is to everybody, biblical and not. Being a cheerful giver to people and etc., you are going to reap that back in your life. So that's what I have for you guys. Decrease your expenses / pay off debt, increase your income, and become a cheerful giver. And over time, as you're working on this, trust me, you will stop living paycheck to paycheck. You can survey anybody you want to survey. I'm working towards it, and I can tell you, if you look at my videos a while back, you can probably see a brighter face because things are getting better, because I'm budgeting, I am decreasing my expenses, I'm doing no spend, I'm doing the work. And so, bestie, not in 2024. We not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. And let me just say this. I'm not saying as soon as you do this, tomorrow, you're going to stop living check to check. That's not what I'm saying. But maybe in a year, because you're doing the work during 2024, and when 2025 comes, you won't be singing the same old sad story about how you live in check to check and you can't pay this, you can't pay that, and new year, new me. Right? If you want your situation to change, you have to do something different. So join me on tomorrow's prayer call, because we're going to be talking about giving. But FYI, there was a lot of talk about giving, and so we are going to be talking about giving on tomorrow's prayer call. I do have my pastor who's going to come on with biblical, from the Bible, scriptures and answers to your questions. But if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. We will be sure to answer them. We're still going to have prayer. We're still going to talk about other things like testimonies and answering any no spin questions that you have as well. That's just going to be a small portion of the live. But I really hope to see you guys tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube only. Okay? So hope to see you guys there. And until the next video, go be great, besties. Peace out.